What is blockchain and how it works? Have you imagined if there was a better and stress-free way to actually complete any form of transactions without you having to deal with traditional banking systems or third-party applications? What if we tell you it's possible? We should thank blockchain for revolutionizing and making this achievable. In this video, we would simplify what you need to know about blockchain. Let's assume there are 4 colleagues: Tom, John, Max, and Alice. They work in the same office and decided to have lunch all together. They ordered and Tom decided to pay the bill while the rest agreed to refunding him later. Alice decides to send her share back to Tom the next day via online money transfer and the transaction goes through. On the other hand, John and Max tried their transactions, but it did not work due to the glitches in the bank network. They were disappointed and started researching alternatives to transact without going through the stress of the failed traditional banking system, technical issues, accounts getting hacked, daily transfer limits exceeded, unnecessary charges associated with sending or receiving money. Here cryptocurrency comes into play. It is a form of digital or virtual currency that runs on a technology known as blockchain. Thanks to blockchain, cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeiting, don't require a central authority, and are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithms. There are more than 1,000 cryptocurrencies and few hundreds of stablecoins exist in the world now. One of them is Edelcoin, a crypto stablecoin, backed by a basket of rare and base metals. Now, let's go back to our previous example where John, Max, and Alice send to Tom 2 Edelcoins each as their contribution to the previous office lunch foods. Let's assume they have 9 Edelcoins in reserve, while Tom has 5. First, John sends 2 Edelcoins to Tom. A record is created in the form of a block. The transaction details between them are permanently inscribed in this block. This record also holds the number of Edelcoins each of them has. After John's transaction, Tom has 7 Edelcoins. Well, John is now having 0, Alice and Max send 3 Edelcoins each to Tom. A new block is created for each of these transactions. Blocks hold all the details as well as how many coins John, Max, and Alice have in reserve. These blocks are linked to each other as each of them takes reference from the previous one for the number of Edelcoins each person owns. This chain of records or blocks is called a ledger, and it is shared among all colleagues, and acts as a public distributed ledger. This is the basics of blockchain. What will happen if John tries to send 1 more Edelcoin when he has 0 left? The transaction will not go through. This is because all of his colleagues have copies of the ledger and it's clear that John has no Edelcoins left. His colleagues' blocks will flag the transaction as invalid. A hacker will not be able to alter the data in the blockchain because each user has a copy of the ledger. The data within the blocks is encrypted by complex algorithms. All of these are possible with the help of blockchain technology. Blockchain can be described as the collection of records linked to each other, strongly resistant to alteration and protected using cryptography. Now let's have an in-depth look at the transactions between Tom and his colleagues and find out how it works. Every user of blockchain has 2 keys, a public and a private one. The public key is an address that everyone in the network knows of, like an email address. The private key is a unique address that only the user knows, like a password. Public key is known by all colleagues who want to send money to Tom. All operations are encrypted by algorithms, and to verify any transaction, users have a unique private key. This is required to digitally sign the transaction and to indicate who is the sender. The amount is now transmitted to Tom. The transaction can be decrypted only by Tom's private key, which only he has knowledge of. Different cryptocurrencies use different hashing algorithms. While Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm, Ethereum uses one known as Ethash. This transaction and several other similar ones are taking place all around the world. Transactions are validated and added block by block. People who validate these blocks are called miners. For a block to be validated and added to a blockchain, miners need to solve a complex mathematical problem. The miner who solves this first adds the block to the blockchain. The process of solving the task is called proof of work, and the process of adding a block to the blockchain is called mining. With this, everyone's and Tom's wallets are updated just like every person in the network who has completed a transaction. We hope you now understand the basics of blockchain and its important concepts. We will see you in our next video.